Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe, Panther III.
Hey, hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III. Wow, you're blinding everybody, Joe. I am Joe Panther III, and man, Ringside crew. Hello, everybody on Facebook. Hello, everybody on YouTube. Man, oh man, last night I attended the PPW show in Slatington, Pennsylvania. It was their welcome back show for 2025. And man, oh man, they did not let you down. The Hey Bro show with Matt Riddle and all the rest of the awesome stars of PPW. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Mr. Ruda and everybody from PPW, Paul Bow. But today, I have a young lady that comes from Florida, and she is on the up and up on the indie scene. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Rhiannon. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside, Rhiannon. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So, if my internationally known audience is not familiar with you, and why would they not be, introduce yourself.
My name is Rhiannon. I am 18 years old. I just got started within the wrestling world pretty soon. I started off in October. I went to my classes within Team Vision Dojo, a very great wrestling school, amazing coach, amazing peers. And yeah, it's been going great so far. I debuted on January 11th. That was great. Not January 11th, December 27th. Sorry.
It's okay. You don't have to be exact on every number. It's okay. It's okay.
I did.
So, like, I've asked this to other guests, like from all over the world, but the school, because I'm a '90s kid, because we didn't have the internet like you guys have now. Was it harder to find the dojo, or was it like easier to find?
It was okay. So I think, to me, I feel like this place was somewhere I was supposed to go, and I am more on the spiritual end of things. So I'm very into like manifesting and just speaking positivity out there to kind of attract what I'm going for in my life. And around October, I was just down in the dumps, and I've been really wanting to do wrestling, and I made this post on Instagram like one random morning, and I was just like, I was letting out my feelings. I was frustrated. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of, my past friends telling me this is something I can't do, and like guys I was going to date at some point telling me that this is something I couldn't do. And I made this post where it was like, hey, this is something I want to do, and this is something I can do. And I was already following the dojo, and they hadn't followed me back yet at the time. And for somehow, some way, they saw that post. We got in touch, and we kind of talked a little bit, and then we set up a day for me to get there, and that's kind of how I'm here now.
Awesome. Like, when you first stepped through the doors of the dojo, did you feel, what were your feelings when you first sat down for the first time ever?
I was nervous. I was extremely nervous. I was scared too, because I was like stepping into something I have never stepped foot in. I watched it for a little bit because I'm still new to all of this. I'm just now getting to the 2000s of like Monday and SmackDown now. So I'm still new. I'm this itty bitty little girl here entering this place with this big ring, and I'm like, oh my god. And we did like our drills, and my dad got this video of me trying to do one of the drills, and it was not the best, but since then I have made progress, and I am less anxiety induced now that I went there.
All right. So, like, what was the very first like wrestling match It could be indies. It could be the mainstay of all the people that now the WWEs and the AEWs. What was your first match do you remember watching?
So I So when I was a kid, my dad had just stopped watching wrestling, but I would see like little bits and clips of like WWE. And I knew of like the bigger names like John Cena, The Rock, Saraya, Paige, all of these people. And I genuinely thought that some of these things were like real. And I think I saw like a match with like Dolph Ziggler and someone. I can't remember who, but I'm like 7, and I'm watching like this clip on YouTube that I came across, and I'm like, wow, guys, this is really serious. But the first match I like sat and watched was probably, it's so typical, but it was probably AJ Lee and Paige for
Ooh.
sure, like in I think September 2023, and I was like, this chick,
All I
I'm
could think in my
her.
head, I think that the wrestling fact Joe just went, was that the WrestleMania after Mania match? Like in my head, that's all I could think.
I can't remember. Like, I don't know where I found like this AJ Lee clip. I think because I remember, I know for a fact in 2023 I was following WWE just like on TikTok because I would watch some things and scroll, and I was like, what is Logan Paul doing here? But I like saw AJ Lee, and I was like, oh, she's kind of, excuse my language, like badass. And I sat and watched like a few of her matches with like Paige and like her promos, and I was like, this is someone I like want to be. Like, this is someone I'm looking up to right now. But
Wow.
like I didn't know that this was something I wanted to do at the time, but I like kind of visioning it to where it's like, why can I see myself up there talking the utmost smack about someone?
Before you joined the dojo, Rhiannon, did you ever experience independent wrestling, or was this the first time you ever like had a chance to do all this? Did you ever go to a show before you decided to jump in the ring and stuff like that?
So like 2 weeks before I went there, because here in Florida they have the NXT shows, and they have this system where like if you sign up you get like free tickets, and if you like sign up early you can get the tickets depending on how many people jump onto it fast enough. So we went to the NXT show. I saw like Booker T, and I'm seeing everybody, and I'm like, wow, because like we just wanted to see what it was like in person, and like everybody in the crowd is like so hyped up over NXT and Roxanne and Julia and all of these like amazing wrestlers, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so overwhelmed. I really want to do it.
That's
So
awesome.
I went to an NXT show before, like 2 weeks before, like I got in contact with the Dojo and went there.
I guess you could say, in a small way, the NXT family, the group, the NXT people, is kind of like a smaller independent, like a bigger independent. I try to explain this to my dad, Papa Panther, and excuse me, NXT is kind of like the indies on steroids.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. That is exactly how I see it. Yes.
Probably. Yeah. Like I see that all say that all the time. The way the crowd reacts to, then they sing the songs and stuff like that. So let's get into it about the indie stuff you do now. That you're in the indies business. You've been business. Sound like I'm talking like Snoop Dogg now. Business. When it comes to like your matches now, because you do your matches a lot. Hey, what's up, Vinnie? Welcome. Is Do you have to like when your very first match you did? What was the thought process before you went through those curtains?
I was probably freaking out internally because my biggest fear approaching that night was just my mind blanking out to the point where I was like asking my coach 20 times, like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And he was like, you're fine. You're fine. Just relax. And I was stepping out in the curtains. I'm supposed to be heel. So I was like prepared to not get the best reaction because I've been talking a lot of smack in my promos to, Bella Snow and just being a brat, being who I am. And like I stepped out, I was like full on ready to get like a crowd full of boos. And I got like the best reaction ever that I didn't know I was gonna get. And I feel like that was just like the highlight of my debut. Because I'm behind this curtain, I'm still this girl who's still so new to this, and I'm 2 months of experience in, and I'm about to freak out. I'm about to step into a world officially that I have never considered stepping into like 3 years ago. And I'm getting this crowd reaction, and it's just such like a magical feeling. It's so like boosting, and it feels like so magical when you have these people immediately like cheering for you and going girl power, and like these two little girls like are there like from like a family friend, and like this other little girl who has a dad within the dojo who's also cheering for me. And it's just like it's overwhelming me with like so much like love, I would say, because it felt I loved that night. That night is like it I still can't believe I did it that night. And I had people like cheering for me when I was supposed to be the heel. So it was like, wow, okay, yeah, this is it for me. I would want to like retire here in this business.
I guess like that night you're like, okay, retired. Here's my gear. Put it in. Mom, frame this for me now. I'm done. Like, so when it comes to like training of the show, because the dojo always does like your dojo. Explain more about to my fans about your dojo and the promotion you wrestle for.
So the Team Vision Dojo is a wrestling school here within Orlando, Florida, in Edgewater. What we basically do is we fully have classes from Mondays to Thursdays. What we kind of do on Mondays is kind of just do our drills and then have an open ring. What our drills are is we practice our rolls, we exercise, we just get we can in, and then kind of practice wrestling, like these wrestling moves and how to do them properly, just to make sure we're not hurting anybody. Because one of the biggest questions within wrestling is, isn't this fake? And I can understand why, but it is not. Let me tell you right now, it is not. My body looks crazy. I am bruised up everywhere. So we just go through all of the moves. We open up the ring around like after our drill and after we do what we need to do. So if anybody like wanted to have like a practice match, like they are more than welcome to just go up in there and just play and have their fun and go at each other. And we do that. Tuesdays is our conditioning class where we basically stretch, exercise, kind of do more in ring work, like jumping from the ropes, running from the ropes, drop downs, leapfrogs, just getting as much exercise as we possibly can get, and just practice more. I consider it like our cardio class, kind of, because I've been running a lot in there and it gets you winded. Wednesdays is kind of just like a chiller day where it's, open ring. Do whatever you want to do. We still do drills, but it's kind of shorter, I think. Wednesdays is our open ring day. So if you want to come over and just like have a practice match with like Bella or like all of these people here, go ahead. Come on by. Thursdays are our promo nights, so we don't do a lot of the drill stuff. We get there, we do our promos. If you want to do a practice match, you can, but sometimes some people will just do their promos, get it done, do their other adult things. And usually I'll do my promos there, and then I'll kind of just play around and practice and just have some practice matches with coach and like whoever is there and just hang out. So that's kind of what we have live events there. I believe we usually have them on Saturdays. We have an upcoming one on January 25th. I will be in a women's gauntlet match.
Ooh.
That is exciting. I believe it is for the Florida championship. So very exciting. But that's kind of what Team Vision Dojo is. We have an amazing coach. It is associated with Larry Zabisco and Hector Guerrero, both two amazing men. I've met both. So they're so nice. They're so nice.
Larry Sabisco literally was my favorite wrestler as a young Panther. Always watching, hearing him do commentary, and so now what Peacock has a lot of the old WWF like WCW like matches. Have you gone back and watched the old Larry Sabisco matches?
I have seen like clips because our coach will like show us like videos that he like watches, and he'll show us like, look back at this video with Larry Zabisco and like these guys, and we often watch them with him, or he'll tell us stories all the time. Literally right after I met him, like a week later, I'm like watching like the Vince McMahon documentary, and I'm like, it's crazy how I see this guy on my TV screen when I'm talking to him about the weather like last week.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a trip. I have seen clips of him wrestle. It's so astonishing to me. It is so, like, there's pictures up on the wall at Team Vision Dojo from like 2009 where he was able to wrestle, and I'm like, oh my god, you are the living legend. Like, you are.
And actually got to do the hand. The hand is.
Yes.
I use that now. Anytime someone says, "Oh, Joe Panther III," I'm like, his little. I was like, yes. I tell him Joe Panther III said hi, and he went. The hand. You just. I say you have to go. You don't have to, but go on Peacock. I'm like I'm doing a promotion for Peacock, but go on Peacock, look up the WCW stuff, and just watch his moves. He's so like smooth. It was like
insane. Right? How are you doing this? He's moving like water, and it's like, how are you doing that?
Yes.
And comes in one day, and you're just like talking to him about the weather outside, and it's like, wow, that's because I'm about to like it. I don't. So when I'm about to like meet these people, I'm so scared. Oh my god! And then the living legend comes in, and it's a conversation you don't expect to have. It's like, tow that weather outside. Literally, that conversation we had, and he's such just like a warm person. He just has a warm soul. He's like this awesome old guy, and he's like a living legend. It's like, oh my god.
If you could get him in the ring for like 5 seconds, would you like want to do like a scrapping match to like try like a grappling against Larry, or would you be too nervous?
No, I fear he would. I fully believe he would kill me. I believe that that ring is all his when he steps in there. That's all I have to say.
He'll probably wrap you up in a pretzel. Like, how about that?
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You
Medic.
Are it's yours.
Like tap out, tap. You don't want him to hit you with the Larry lock. With his finishing move, it's over.
It's over. It's over.
So you wrestled the dudes at Ringside, former guest, the Bella Snow. Like with her now, she's a champion and she's been there pretty much longer than you. Have you taken anything from Bella within like when you started there that you want to talk about tonight?
So I saw she was on your guys' podcast, and one of the things that she brought up was confidence. And like, I know I come in here, I'm this random chick, I've never done this before, and I'm coming in with like a heaping pot of confidence here. But I think in my personal opinion, I feel like confidence gets you far. I feel like my confidence can get me far because, you know, I believe in myself. I think I can do this. And I I kind of understand the confidence part, because it seems like I have like this cocky ego, sort of, when I don't. I swear I do not know everything, but you have to think about it like this. Did Rhea Ripley ever have to lower or lose her confidence and belief in herself to be the badass that she is today? Did Charlotte Flair or Chyna or even May have to do this? And I don't think so. I understand, like, our confidence can lower, like, when we're just feeling down about ourselves, but I feel like confidence can get you really far. Bella, she's a very sweet person, and everything I say to her is never personal. It is always business. She is an amazing wrestler. She has been doing this far longer than I have. So I have definitely been given the greatest opportunity that I have been given on January the 11th to do what I did with her that night and work with her. And she gave me some amazing advice before we went out there and or after we went out there. And it has stuck with me then, because, you know, she is still a higher up to me, and I will learn from her, and I'll learn from everybody around. And my biggest thing that I have learned from her is have fun with this. Have fun. Not everything has to be dead serious. You want to have fun with this. You want to be able to interact with the crowd, bicker with the crowd if you're a heel. Like, just have fun with it. Don't take it so serious. You want to have so much fun that you don't want to stop doing this. And I've been living with that since I even stepped foot in there, because at the end of the day, it is fun to do. When you're walking out of those curtains, it is so extremely, like, exciting to get a crowd reaction, whether it's boos, cheers, a mix of both. It is so exciting, and it's even more fun when you're in that ring and you're able to show who you are and who you can be. That is what I stick into my heart for the rest of my life when I do this.
Awesome. So now that you're into this Rhiannon character, like, is it like, how much of you is it in this character, or do you just like fluff it up more so they like oh man, she's really not that nice, but in real life you're a sweet person? So where is the you, and then where's the Rhiannon?
So Rhiannon, I am Rhiannon, but you know, I try to keep it as respectful as I possibly can everywhere around me, even within the dojo. I like to think I am still Rhiannon out of there, because I like to keep the traditions of wrestling alive, as you will. So I like to stay within my character a little bit, not to like an overwhelming like method acting point, but just so I could like still kind of get a hold of, you know, myself and like who I want to be. But like, let's not forget that Rhiannon is still kind of up there, and she's associated with someone like that is kind of within her. So I'm not all there as it is. As I am Rhiannon, I'm not all there basically. There are some things within me that I cannot explain, but I will be showing very soon. I've even kind of let that out a little bit more yesterday. But when I interact with people, whether it's like in wrestling or just in a regular life, I kind of, you know, interact with people in a regular form of way while I'm in my normal bubble. And then when I'm in my wrestling bubble, it's just a completely different switch depending on how I'm feeling as Rhiannon or Wrath.
Yeah. But before we went live, me and Rhiannon we're talking about something we love, pizza. Mm-hmm. So for you, what would you say would be your ideal 5 favorite pies to have? all like your favorite of all time?
In pizza?
Yeah, pizza.
So I'm very basic. So I choose cheese quite a lot, but I'm getting more explorative kind of with new things. So I think top 5, that is a lot. But one of my top 1 pizzas, if I customized it, probably cheese for sure. You can't go wrong with cheese ever. Even if it's just a plain cheese, you can't go wrong with it. You always cheese is important.
Yeah.
Definitely pepperoni. It probably does not sound right, but I think olives are good on pizza sometimes. Kind of depends on the day or night.
Yeah.
And then I'm not necessarily a pepper person, but I'm getting there. So I'm going to throw peppers in there.
Mm.
And that'd probably be my go-to.
I just tried this, Rhiannon, like last month or whenever it was. It was in December with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a pizza place that's near Bethel Woods. It was a pepperoni pizza, like slices I got, with hot honey on it.
Ooh. Oh, that sounds
right? With that hot honey, that spicy honey across it, and I was going,
I'm not
okay.
a person, but that sounds good.
I'm Latin, so anything hot, I'm in. I'm into it.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm half Puerto Rican, so yeah.
Half Mexican over here.
Oh yeah, you like spicy stuff like the Panther. Yeah, you. So when it comes to like, do you know if you're gonna have like the proper gear yet? Like I saw your pictures, you don't have the gear yet, but you getting a dose yet?
I have gear coming in. It's custom gear. At first it was just gonna be bottoms and knee pads, but then I was like, let's throw a top in there. So that kind of took some time, but he just asked for the information that is needed. So I am praying that it comes in soon because I am daydreaming about this gear at some point. At this point, but I do have gear coming in. I'm very excited for it. It's my first gear set, but so far we've had to keep it very plain, unfortunately. But we've got some stuff coming in, and we also have, more ideas and tinkerings of other future gear that we will be working on so far, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
Awesome. And it's difficult for young wrestlers like you when you first get to the school and then they're like, okay, you're ready to go out for your first match. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, they don't really give you now you got to go buy gear. You have to find something. So was it difficult to find something to wear during that first match? Or did you just say, I'm going to wear whatever I train in?
That's kind of what I had to result in because I kind of have nothing else other than like, a jacket that I usually would wear on colder. But he did suggest us gear people, but we were already like so close to this happening to the point where it was like, well, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to just do this in regular training outfits, so why not? It's a start. I'm grateful to be where I am now, but we bought the gear like I think 3 weeks before that night, so it had to be customized. They had to use a different fabric. One was out, so we had to definitely go through some little hinderings, but we got there, and I'm most likely going to be wearing what I have usually worn for the last 2 matches, but that's okay. Life happens. It is what it is.
Yeah. So, like, do you remember who you were working with when your first match, or does it like sometimes blank out who your first match was?
Who I was?
Yeah, your first match. Who'd you face in your first? Was it Bella? Your first match?
Rance, my first match. In my second match, I was with Chasen Rance, Bella Snow, and CJ Mallory. My first one was with Coach Chasen.
You have someone wishing you well wishes. That's awesome.
That's Mom. Thank you, Mom.
Hey, Miss Rhiannon. Hi, Rhiannon's mom. How you doing? Dude, Joe Panther III. Pleased to meet you. Awesome. So, because nowadays, generally, like nowadays, men and women face each other a lot, and I've seen you get in matches with guys. So, do you find it easier to fight men than more than women, or is it like you like fighting both?
I like fighting both. I like to keep it equal with, until, I make it bigger in the future. I believe in, equal fights, equal rights, equal fights. So, some days I'll fight women and some days I'll fight men. Because I think it's kind of fun fighting with men because, I get to like do both and I can show people like, hey, I can be a girl and still like take down this grown man. Like, I can still be a girl and still fight a man perfectly fine. And I like to prove that. And that's one of my goals, is to kind of prove, like, the younger audience of boys and girls that, like, you can fight whoever you want. If you want to do this, you can do it. You can fight whoever you want. You can be whoever you want. You can do whatever you want.
That's true. So I saw the video of your big fan did that video of you with the microphone and you were going off.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also watched the Bella promo you did on Bella Snow. Where do you have to go in yourself to click that switch to just look into that camera and just flip that switch and just be like, we like each other outside the ring, but right now you're dead to me. Like, where does that go? Where do you go?
I go. So, Rhiannon, me, I am not. I don't know how to explain this. I have someone else here that not a lot of people are aware of, and that someone else is Wrath. And Wrath sometimes likes to take care of business when Wrath thinks it is time to take care of business. So in that moment, I think both of us were there because, I'm taking down this guy that Bella Snow just throws at me, and she thinks she outsmarts me here, but you didn't. So I'm kind of in this position to where it's like, okay, well, you didn't say I had to pin this person over here, but I still beat him, and I still consider myself a winner, so I'm still coming after you. Nothing you can throw at me, basically. And that kind of mentality, it's that mentality to where it's like, you can throw whatever trash you want to throw at me. You can throw a tomato, you can throw whatever, you can throw a chair at me, and you still won't stop me. I'm unstoppable, and I'm still gonna come after you, whether you like it or not. So that's kind of the mentality I'm in. You can throw a metal trash can as big as a tree right now, and you will not get rid of me.
I like that. That's that's good. That I get that feeling like, whoa, you can't stop you. You're unstoppable in that department. You know what I mean? But like, have you thought of traveling? I know you're so young and you're just starting out, but have you thought of traveling in other places to wrestle in Florida yet, or is it just like staying in the dojo for a while?
I believe the dojo does sometimes go to other places within Florida. Like I think around November, late November, I think early December, they just had like an event in Jacksonville. So I think it definitely kind of depends on like where the bookings are, sort of. But they definitely, Team Vision Dojo does explore around the Florida area. So I do think I will kind of be seeing more around here a little bit over the few months, maybe around the summer. We are thinking of doing more things, but I don't know if I can speak on some things just yet. But so far, I think we do have some other Floridian locations coming up at some point.
Awesome. So in closing, if my fans want to follow you on social media, how can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, X, TikTok, even though we just got banned and unbanned somehow. Those are the three apps you can find me on. It's so hard to explain my username, but it's RH1ANN0NN dot underscore on Instagram, and it's the same thing on oh my god, I'm blanking out. It's the same thing on TikTok, just with 2 underscores. And it's the same thing on X as well. So that's where you can find me. I'll also comment it down below after this interview in case there are people who want to find me, but that's where you can find me.
Well, we got a little fire in the chat right now. Got your someone.
We'll see. We'll see.
What do you have to say to this young lady and Bella that you're coming hard for their belts? You're trying to melt away Miss Snow and take this young lady's belt away. So, what kind of words do you have before we go? Normally I have you. I'll still have you do that, but what are your words for Bella and for her that let her know that you mean business?
You're great, but you're not me. You're great, but you're just not Rhiannon. That's all I say.
Okay. Before we go, Rhiannon, if there was any kids that haven't inspired to get into the business like you did, what kind of advice would you have for them?
This is something I was hoping you would ask me, because I have a brother. He has 2 little girls, so I have 2 nieces. One of the main reasons as to why I wanted to do wrestling was so I could show other little girls that they can do whatever they want. If they want to be this insane, violent wrestler, you be the best insane, violent wrestler you can be. Do not let anybody tell you that, oh, you're too small, you're too weak, you're a girl, you can't do it, this is a men's thing. No, don't listen to that. Do what you want to do. And that goes for little boys as well. And this goes for any career. If my girls, my nieces, I have one niece who's so dramatic that she could be an actress, and I have one where she is scientific and she can be a scientist. And if for whatever reason they want to switch up those things, like if my little dramatic art actress over here wants to be the opposite, you can be the opposite. If you're this dramatic little drama queen here and you want to be a scientist, you be a great scientist. You be the best scientist. And if my little scientist inclined niece over here wants to be an actress, you be the greatest actress you can be. If you want to be a doctor, an astronaut, a CEO of anything, you be the greatest of them all. You go after it, you put in the work, you believe in yourself, and you do not listen to whatever mess people are telling you, because anybody in this world has so much potential to be whoever they want to be. And I think there are billions of people in this world who can be a genuine superstar, but sometimes they won't lead themselves down that path. I believe that if you want to be a superstar, you can be a goddamn superstar if you just put your all into it. And that is the message I want to bring on to my girls. I want them to see their aunt doing this. I want them to see, their aunt watch her wrestle these people and win these titles and win these matches, and look at her, their aunt, and go to their friends and their parents and go, I know her. That's my aunt. I want to do what she's doing. I want to be like her one day. That is the message I want to give to everybody else who want to chase their dreams, because you may go for the complete opposite of what you want to dream, and you will probably regret it one day. You will probably regret not chasing your dream, and that is something that I want to teach to other kids, is that if you want to do this, do it. Put all of your intention into it, no matter what.
Awesome. Just everybody that's watching in the chat, make sure you go give Rhiannon a nice follow. Definitely go share this video to all your friends. I want to make this the most viewed video of 2025, and definitely go give the video a like. Definitely give it a subscribe, because I'm close to my marger to try. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We'll have to give if there's a show, if there's any shows coming up that you want to promote, if anybody wants to buy a ticket or come see a show that you guys are doing, is there anywhere they could buy tickets?
Yes. January 25th, we have an event within Team Vision Dojo at Edgewater. I will be posting up the address onto my Instagram later tonight after this interview. You can get the tickets from their profile. They have a link within their bio, Team Vision Dojo, Instagram, TikTok, X. You can find the link Eventbrite on their page, and it will give you all of the shows. January 25th, we have a Dojo Rumble match with the men, and we have a women's gauntlet match that I will be within. So you can get your tickets within Eventbrite. I constantly promote the dojo, so you'll most likely be seeing me just stack this website with just buy the tickets, buy the tickets, buy the tickets.
Buy tickets. The fans will be like, stop spamming the chat like they do on Snap. Yeah, it's cool to know that there's a dojo in Florida that kids, young people like you and Bella and all the people that I've had so far on Dudes at Ringside. I'm trying to get more students on the podcast. I know you can go back whenever you go back for class. Say, hey, Joe Panther III wants us to message him. We'll work on something in the middle of the year. I want to do a spotlight for your promotion. Have you guys all back, and you can tell your stories and stuff like that. Because I feel like helping you guys doesn't get me over, gets you guys over. Absolutely. So I want to thank you so much. Yes. I'm Joe Panther III.
This is Rhiannon.
And we will catch you in the next one.
You better subscribe.